We've all heard weird things that doctors found inside patients who came into their offices complaining about weird aches and pains. Sometimes a nail has gone up the nose, or something went into but that was never meant to be in the body. The really and truly shocking tales are the ones told by doctors who not only found something that didn't belong inside the human body, but that was still living when it was found. Check out this list of 10 horrifying things found inside a human body. Be sure to have a barf bag right next to you because some of these anatomical discoveries can make you whirl. Number 10. Squids growing in the mouth. Now, this is a story for the ages. In fact, after hearing this you'll probably think twice about eating raw seafood from the Orient. Specifically, you will never dream of eating calamari again after this. One fateful evening a famished 63-year-old South Korean woman began digging into a portion of cooked whole squid. Suddenly she experienced a sharp prickling sensation in her mouth. Unbeknownst to her, what she had actually partaken in were sperm sacs, also known as squid spermatophores to be exact. These creatures forcefully shoot sperm, which then embeds itself on wherever it lands. So strange enough, when the Korean woman headed to the hospital, doctors were shocked. Doctors find baby cephalopods attached to the woman's tongue, cheek gums, and covered in cement-like substances to be exact. And to think you only thought this kind of stuff happens on ad-filled suspicious websites. Like and subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to get 1 week good luck for you. Try this, it really worked. Number 9. Fish finds a home in the lungs. Can you imagine having an actual living breathing fish making a home for itself inside of your lungs? A 12-year-old kid by the name of Neil Barella was playing a game with some of his friends when he accidentally swallowed a live fish. Now swallowing the fish in itself wasn't the problem. Instead of the fish slipping down his esophagus, it went through his windpipe into his left lung. Neil struggled to breathe and began losing a lot of oxygen in his blood. He had to be rushed to the hospital to undergo a 45-minute emergency operation to have the fish removed from his lung. Yeah. You can share this story to your grandchildrens. Number 8. Teratomas, the monster tumors. Thought the world couldn't get any weirder? Well, we're here to prove you wrong. Let's take a look at something that's so scary if it doesn't make you recoil and disgust, then we don't know what else will. Teratoma tumors are composed from the cells of other organs, so they can grow hair, teeth, and eyes. Like some kind of malformed fetus evil. In fact, the name itself comes from the Greek word for monster. And they can actually possess you. Kiara Eccles woke up one day in a mental institution diagnosed with schizophrenia, though she had never suffered from psychological problems in her life. After extensive research, doctors eventually found a teratoma on Eccles' ovaries. It had teeth, bone, hair, and an entire nervous structure around it, attacking her brain and sending the poor lady psychotic. At one point her family even considered having her exorcised. Number 7. Flesh-eating maggots. Despite all travel vaccinations we received before heading somewhere exotic, nothing can prepare you for some of the creepy and weird terrors you can come across, such as flesh-eating bloody maggots. Rochelle Harris had just come from a holiday in Peru and was returning to England. Once she landed, she felt excruciating headaches, pains in her face, and scratching sounds in her head. Doctors thought it was a minor ear infection until they saw a writhing mass of maggots deep inside her ear. Turns out a New World Army screwworm fly had laid eggs inside her head. And horrifyingly, the more the doctors went into the head, the more the larva retreated into her head, chewing a 12mm hole into her ear canal. Now that's a complete mind-blowing scenario. Number 6. A creature in the retina. The eyes, the windows to our soul, and the perfect habitat for a retina-eating worm. YP, that's right. One fateful day, John Matthews from Iowa headed to the doctor because of complaining from hazy eyesight. Once the doctor began examining him, he discovered that there was a microscopic worm swimming inside of John's eye. That's not haunting enough. The worm in question happens to be the one that actually eats the eye too. Usually these worms find their way into the body via the gut, and instead of wriggling through the blood vessels it makes its way to the eyes and brain via the tissue, and calls the retina its home. And if left untreated it can eat your eye until you eventually go blind. Scary, right? Number 5. Fir tree growing in long. What could possibly be worse than thinking that you've developed a tumor? That's the case with Artyom Sidorkin, who went to doctors in 2009 after complaining of extreme chest pain in 2009. When doctors diagnosed him, they were 100% sure that it was cancer, which is the worst possible diagnosis that anyone can get. Artyom came to terms with his predicament and even scheduled the surgery to have the tumor removed. However, during the surgery, when the surgeons were on the verge of removing a part of his lung, they saw something that totally shocked them. Right there before their eyes was a fir tree. It turns out that the man had inhaled the seed and sprouted an actual tree inside of him, which was exerting pressure on his capillaries. So it wasn't cancer after all, and I bet Artyom thanked the heavens for that. But seriously, a fir tree, that's gotta be one of the most insane things that you've ever heard. Number 4. Spider living inside someone's ear. Let's face it, there's absolutely no one who wouldn't want to have Spider-Man's powers. I mean, how awesome would that be? But have you ever wondered whether some spider somewhere secretly wants to become human? And if they can't achieve it, they would rather make a home in your ear and live your life in the shadows? Katie Melua, a singer by profession, had not noticed that there was a spider living in her ear for more than a week. Once she made the discovery, she took to Instagram to notify her fans and show them the creepy spider that was having a field day next to her eardrum. When zoomed upon, the spider looked terrifying. Katie discovered the jumping spider, or spasticity, when she had gone to the doctor to complain of a funny rustling sound in her ear. At first, the doctor thought it could have been an ear infection. But upon checking, they were shocked to find the spider just chilling and having a blast in there. Number 3. Giant hairball. We all have our dark, weird habits. Some people bite their nails, others crack their fingers, and others love to eat their own hair over and over again. Yep, you heard right. Abruptly Alexieva from Kyrgyzstan was rushed to doctors because she was severely malnourished and she couldn't eat or drink anything without vomiting. Imagine the shock when the surgeons found a massive 9-pound hairball inside her stomach. Well, it turns out Abruptly had trichophagia, a compulsive hair-eating disorder where someone eats their own hair and hair from carpets for years. This condition leads to Rapunzel syndrome, where a hairball develops a tail leading into the intestine. Now that's a revolting condition, isn't it? And now we've come to the best pick of the day. What would you do if you found a spider duck itself into your hand? I imagine it would be completely excruciating. Honestly, I would faint if something like this happened to me. Number 2. Unborn parasitic fetus. This is not some science fiction story, but real actual life. The year is 1999, and a man by the name of Sanjay Bhagat from Nagpur, India was the center of media attention. It turns out that he was pregnant with his unborn twin, and he'd been carrying the fetus inside of him for 36 years. So how does this weird phenomenon happen? Well, one fetus envelopes itself around the other, and a monozygotic twin pregnancy. The twin wrapped inside becomes a parasite solely living from the host twin's blood supply. In Sanjay's case, his twin caused a huge swelling in his stomach, mainly caused by secretions and hair shreds from the parasite's skin. Number 1. Eel stuck inside your butt. At the top of our list is probably the most grotesque thing ever. And what makes it even weirder is that it was self-inflicted. A Chinese man inserted a live, 20-inch long Asian swamp eel up his backside after seeing it done in an adult movie. Desperate to find a way out, the panicked eel chewed through the man's colon, perforated his large intestine, and became stuck in his body cavity. Surgeons managed to extract the eel from his guts, which were bleeding internally, and save both parties' lives. I mean, it's always cool to try something new, But that's a little too much, don't you think? Folks, don't try weird stuff like that at home. Be careful with what you're sticking where you're sticking with that. Being said, we've come to the end of this video, so which of these horrifying things freaked you out the most? Want more videos that will exist until the very end of time? Click on any of the videos you see on the screen. As always, thanks for watching.